Hi everyone, I'm Callum. I'm the Samsung Interactive Product Manager at Midwich. We're here at the Samsung showroom to look at the new WAF panel. I'm joined here by Drew. Can you talk us through it a little bit, please?
Sure, no problem. I'm Drew Rogers. I'm the Head of Interactive Display at Samsung UK. This is a product that we recently launched at the BET show and at ISE. So the product in front of me is our third generation of Android display, and it joins our interactive category that also includes a product called Flip that's well established, that's a digital flip chart, really good for meeting rooms and for universities. We also have a range of PCAP touch that's suitable for public spaces such as food ordering. We also have an interactive kiosk product that brings together not only a PCAP screen but also peripherals such as a printer and a barcode scanner. And this product grows our range that's predominantly made for the classroom and the meeting room space.
So Drew, you mentioned this is the third generation of the Samsung eBoard. Can you tell us a little bit more about the specs and the product in the whole?
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of the range, we're keeping the same number of sizes, which is 65 inch, 75 inch and 86 inch. They seem to be the common sizes that are used in classrooms and meeting rooms. It does support up to 40 touch points, so you can have multiple students using the screen, and actually our software now supports multiple students drawing at the same time as well. We've made a few changes between this and the previous product from a hardware perspective. So this one now has an 8-core processor, so we've doubled the processing power. In terms of connectivity, we've got multiple HDMI. We also support USB-C on the front here as well, and that means that teachers or guests can plug the laptop in. Not only will it carry a video signal, audio signal, it also does the touch and will charge the device as well.
So Drew, you've mentioned about the wired capabilities of the WAF. Yep. What about wireless? What can this panel do?
It does have wireless built into it. And Bluetooth, and that means that you can use it to connect to the internet, to use the browser or any of the cloud-based functions that are built in. Also means that we've got screen sharing, and students and teachers can connect in different methods using the screen share application that supports any device. So it will support Android, Windows, iOS, Chromebook, and we also support Miracast as well. So that will allow a direct connection between a Windows device. So you can use Windows K and connect directly to the screen really seamlessly.
So we've taken a look at the core specs of the WAF. Can we have a little bit of a deeper look, Drew, at the functionality of the panel?
Yeah, absolutely. So the product comes pre-installed with an Android 14 player. That's an upgrade on the previous version, which was 13. And importantly, this one will also be upgradable to Android 15 as well in the future. So if you look at some of the previous versions, our very first version didn't actually have Google EDLA. So it looked like a quite generic stock Android, just using the core operating system. We did add Google EDLA to the second version, which fundamentally meant that we could have Google's Play services built in, so users could download applications from the Play Store, but it would also come pre-installed with the Google suite of products, as you can see on this one. The difference here is that we have reworked the UI so that it's got a similar brand identity to other products in the Samsung portfolio, and it looks like a nice, modern, clean Android experience. First thing is, got lots and lots of annotation tools. So here you can see that we can choose between a thin pen and a thick pen, and that's because the screen can recognize different widths. And on the stylus, we've got a fine writing and a highlight, and I can choose the different pen types. So let's say we're going to go for a thin pen, adjust the thickness, we'll use a pencil, and we'll use a yellow color. So the screen is now recognizing how I'm setting that pen, but I can also select the thick pen. So let's say we're going to have a marker and we're going to use red. Now you can see it's in a thicker style and it's in red. So simple to essentially bring some different functions to the screen. It's very, very responsive, and you can see it's multi-touch, and we can actually have up to 20 different drawing points and 40 touch points, and there's some gestures built in as well. So it's simple to rub out using a palm gesture. So nice and easy from a teacher's perspective, and very user-friendly. If I want to add pages, I can. So let's say we've got lesson number 1 here, and we want to add another page here, we can, and so on and so forth. One of the other things that I mentioned was that you can have multiple students. And actually, Cal, this is going to give you an opportunity to get you involved.
Use
so
my pen here.
I've got a button here. If I press that, it gives me options to split the screen into 2, 3, or 4. So because it's me and Callum, let's do 2. Here you can see I'm presented with a split screen. So now we can both select our own colours and we can start working.
Ah, that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So now you can allow students to work collaboratively, but giving them their own space on the board. So some of the other features that we've got is a significantly enhanced pack of tools for teaching. So on the screen here, if I select this app container, I've now got a huge number of tools that are available, such as different shapes in both 3D and 2D and different ways of drawing, but it also gives me some really nice on-screen help as well. So let's choose a 3D shape and I'm gonna draw. So first thing to notice is it's very, very fluid. No lag whatsoever, but I'm getting some nice indications of length. And then if we choose, say, a different shape, then not only am I getting length, but I'm also getting things such as angle as well. So in addition to the shape objects that I've just shown you, there's also some maths tools and plenty of ways to bring other content into the whiteboard as well. So if I tap the plus button here, firstly, I've got a range of nice maths tools. So here we've got a protractor, but I could use, for example, a compass on screen as well. And I can set this however I want, use it to draw circles. So super simple to bring some of those tools to the screen. On our previous version, and again, this is because of the enhanced processing power, but you had to come away from the whiteboard in order to bring content in. So I had to launch a browser, take a screen grab and bring that in. On this one, I've got that functionality directly in the whiteboard. So I'm gonna go to the plus button again, I'm gonna choose browser. You can see here, it's launching Google directly into the whiteboard. So if we now search, brings up some images that have been returned by Google Images. I simply tap and hold. I've now got content directly in the whiteboard. So super simple to bring content in. And some of the other tools that I've got are, for example, a on-screen periodic table, and that's there for the teachers to use however they see fit.
Perfect, some very interesting tools there. Question though, how would you share this to pupils and anyone else that would maybe need it?
Yeah, good question. So you do have to get the content off of the board if you want to use it away from the board. And there's a number of ways that are built in to do that. So if I go back to my menu here, this is going to allow me to save the content directly to the board so that I can use later. But if I want to, I can upload it directly to a cloud drive. But if you want a super simple way of grabbing the content, then I can generate QR code that allows me to scan that and it will save the content directly to my mobile device.
So conversations about AI are prevalent. I'm hearing about it all the time. Drew, are Samsung doing anything to bring AI to the classroom?
Yes, we are, Callum, but any reason you've asked that question?
You've caught me out. Yeah, I saw it down in the bottom there. Can you tell me about it?
I can indeed. So that application is something that we took the opportunity to show an early release of at the BET show. And essentially this brings together an Android application and also a number of generative AI APIs and packages that in a way that we hope is going to be useful for teachers in the classroom. Currently, there's 3 main functions of the product, but this will look to expand as the product grows and we get more feedback, but also as the technology improves as well. So we will be supporting voice to text recognition, which will allow for live dictation, but it will use the AI generation to provide a nice summary that can be shared after the lesson. And we're also bringing circle to search to the big screen as well. We get this nice little user interface that's like a floating widget. So if I go back to my whiteboard, and I now get to make use of the periodic table. So we've loaded the periodic table, and Callum, I'm going to get you to help me out here.
Okay.
Do you want to circle?
Pick one. Let's do it. Let's do sulfur.
First, you've got to circle.
Sorry.
There we go.
Do oxygen, actually. Nice and easy.
Well, Oxygen should hopefully return lots of content. So you'll see there that Callum has used the circle for search, and it's launched into this new user interface that's now returning AI-generated content. One, the content's in a really nice format, so it's in a Wikipedia-style format, and it not only gives you a lot of content, but it lets you know all the sources that the content's been retrieved from, and also gives you some interesting questions to spark conversations in the classroom. What's key about this though, is that most of the chatbots or AI chatbots that we're used to using are going to be browser-based, going to be app-based, and returning generic content for the general population. This has been calibrated to return lesson-type content for specific age groups. So you can calibrate it for specific ages, for specific lessons, and that's what will be returned, essentially. So very, very simple way to bring AI to the classroom. But it also returns more than that as well. So if I look on the videos tab, you'll see that it's now given me some video selections from YouTube, and I'll select one of these. What's nice about it is it's booted immediately into this video, and that's another advantage of having more processing power.
So I can see there are a couple of other tabs on the floating toolbox, Drew. Can you talk us through those? What are they?
Yeah, so the middle one here gives us a live transcript, and essentially here, this will basically take the dictation from whatever's being said and convert it into digital text. Then we've got a timestamp summary as well. So if you can imagine you're a teacher and essentially the screen is taking notes of what you're saying, and rather than you having to edit that after the lesson so that it's in a shareable format, the AI will put it into a really nice summary, give you these timestamps, and then give you some super simple ways in that you can share it either with yourself or colleagues or anyone in the classroom.
Oh, that's really smart. It's a great use of AI. Do you know what would be a good idea if you could have a quiz tab here? Is that something that might be coming in the future?
Funny you should mention that, because yep, we do have a roadmap of additional functionality, and absolutely the AI generated quizzes will be included. Importantly, what that means is that there'll be multiple choice quizzes that the teacher can generate on the fly, but based upon the lesson content. So it's going to save them a lot of time in terms of planning and also ongoing assessment throughout the lesson.
So that's an overview of the new WAF panel, which is in Samsung's new e-board range. Very interesting, great new features. I definitely feel like it's one you want to get hands-on to get the full experience. How is that possible, Drew?
Well, this showroom here is open to guests if they want to visit us and come and look at the product. But we're also consciously aware that a lot of customers, especially schools, want to be able to try this product out in their own environment. So we've got a really big loan fleet, and this is free of charge for schools to use. And we can send product out normally within a couple of days, where we'll send the screen, and we can send it with a stand and a system setup. More and more though, we are also doing remote demonstrations and post-sales training as well. So we are able to offer Teams-based calls where we can either set that up before school hours, after school hours, at a convenient time for the teachers and the school. So multiple ways now in terms of either getting hands-on with the product or becoming familiar with the features and functions.
Perfect. Well, that's about it, guys. If you want any more information on what Drew's just covered there, or pricing or anything else from myself, my email will be on the screen. But that's everything. Thanks again for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, and see you again soon.
Thank you.